A lady came in and asked what this was all for.
Oh, God, stop. Stop, for the love of God.
She said we focus on interracial.
I did not say that.
Can I tell you an inappropriate story?
How inappropriate, Kylen.
You know what was in the middle of his trousers? A tray of nachos. Ew. I heard this like scoop, and then I heard a yum, 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 and then I heard a violent poop.
I just ate nachos. Did you have to bring this up like 20 minutes after I had nachos?
I've been waiting. And what's with all the riots? You know what I mean? It's like, we did it. We did it. Let's burn her down to the fucking ground. Would you go looting? I'm going to admit something horrible. Surprise.
Bet you it's not going to be shocking.
Why did I want to stab that man on the train? Why was I threatened by his eyeballs?
What's such a pain in the ass?
I look forward to next week when you remember to come back and water me and feed me and that I exist.
All right, here we are.
Back at last. Well, I've been here. I was abandoned by yours truly.
I didn't abandon you.
Abandoned.
Have been traveling for the past week following the World Cup.
With her real family.
With my husband and the 10-year-old. And we still have 3 more games. So we've done 3 games. Levi Stadium, BC Palace in Vancouver, and then Seattle, Lumen Field. Lots of fun.
How did your child come back and his legs are all beat up? Did you do that?
We walked so many miles everywhere.
Oh, that just from walking?
He ran a distance run right before we left.
Oh, here for junior lifeguards?
For junior lifeguards. And so he was already tired. And then he tried to lift one of my bags, the luggage, and I feel like he kind of pulled something.
Oh, no.
So anyways, by the end of it, he was pretty beat up. And today he's like, I'm just doing morning guards, Mom. I'm not doing afternoon guards.
Fair enough.
So amazing. So much fun. And I'm beat. It's been waking up at 4 a.m. to fly to the next place to get to see the next game. And then also, I think there's a certain level of like, you're just so excited to be there and the energy is electric, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's kind of like the come down afterwards because it's like everything's so, yeah, raw. And then all of a sudden you're like, ooh.
There's nothing coursing through you anymore.
No, you're a little tired, but that's okay. I'll be back at it again tomorrow. That is kind of what I was going to talk to you about today. And we did a game. We did Austria, Jordan, and we decided to root for Jordan. Then we did Canada against Qatar, and we were in Canada, so we represented Canada. And then we came back and we went to the Australia-USA game, and of course we were USA. So we got to like be with our crowd and have so much fun. And one of the things that we all walked away with was just how much it brings people together for the love of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a really beautiful thing to see how there was no like animosity, no bad feelings. We just were there, present, cheering together, having a great time. And everybody, I think, felt the collective awe of it. And so I was curious about that. So I went and looked it up, and I discovered that some sociologists back in 1912 had a name for it, which was collective effervescence. And I really like that.
That's what cement does.
Collective effervescence?
No effervescence.
No effer.
Because concrete is porous.
Right.
Right. So sometimes you're going to get residual effervescence. I would say to that, because I see that, right? I see that. And just out of intrigue, I would say it does bring people together. What is that? What is the fault? Then what's with all the riots? You know what I mean? It's like, we did it. We did it. Let's burn her down to the fucking ground, right? Like,
so there's a couple things. I kind of dove into it a little bit. There is, there's the upside of it, which is you all come together collectively.
Camaraderie, we're cheering.
And it's like, yeah, the cheering, the chanting, and it's spiritual, and it's like a ritual, and it lifts you up, right? Mm. And then there's the downside of it with things like that, with riots, where collectively it brings you down.
What do you think that
the mechanism is?
Yeah, like what's the distinction? Like, what is that tips the scales from us being like, wow, I appreciate, like, look at you. You came home and you're like, I have a newfound appreciation versus like, I have newfound loot from my pillaging because I went and
I think the difference is the sense of awe. You know, it's one thing to collectively like be angry and go out, you know, it's a different when what I was reading was basically like when you feel in awe of something, you shrink down, your ego shrinks down, you become smaller and you see something greater than yourself.
Hmm.
Watching the whole thing, you know, like transpire, you see that everybody like this amazing sport, all these people together collectively, these amazing athletes are out there. And so you're not thinking of yourself at all, right? And I think that there's a difference for people when you're thinking outside of yourself that makes it a little more magical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most things.
Yeah, like most things. I mean, the less we think about ourselves and the more empathetic and kind we are.
Yeah. There's
And
like more
so
beauty to behold.
I think that was kind of it, that people seemed curious, they were kind, they were generous. I mean, everywhere I turned, people were going, "Oh, let me take a picture of you and your family," or
Oh, for you.
"For you,"
Okay.
right? So, like, you're
I was
walking
like, what
and,
the fuck?
you know, as far as, like, we were, behind the goal, and we did a baseball game too, I was gonna say dugout. We went to baseball, we went to World Cup, we did it all. But, we were behind the goal, and everybody is taking pictures for each other. It didn't matter what side of the team, they're taking pictures of the up against the goal and,
Mhm.
offering that or buying each other drinks. We had Australians buy us drinks. I met so many cool people. I met a whole bunch of people from Jordan that thanked me for rooting for them because I bought the scarf and I had their color and I did the whole thing, you know? It was great. It was so fantastic, and I can't wait to see more.
That
Yeah.
sounds fun. Would you go looting? I'm just saying, if you were there, and
Yeah.
thank God it went the
Positive.
upper direction,
Yeah.
right? The uplifting. But if you were there for the experience
Right. Yeah. No, I don't think I'd be doing that, Kylen. But
because your kid was there,
the reason I thought that I wanted to talk to you about this and that I thought it was just important and interesting was I was like, you know, I was kind of like, why is it that we can all come together on this thing? Why is it that globally you just are hearing so many great stories of connection and generosity, right?
oh, I got that one in the bag.
Okay, tell me.
Hierarchical alignment.
Yeah,
We were just aligned. All of our values were aligned. We're
right,
not nitpicking over values. I'm not having to argue my values. I'm not having to establish mine or superior to yours. What
right.
we bought tickets saying, we're aligned.
Right. And honestly, the whole time, everywhere we've been, there's no political conversation. Nobody's talking about the divisiveness, you know.
Lovely.
And people, all the people traveling here that I've had conversations with have had the best time, you know.
Mm,
That's been beautiful and wonderful to see, especially given the current climate out there.
beautiful. Unlike our climate.
But no, and it made me think about a lot of stuff, right? So, you know, that we talk about a lot about the the online, the algorithm, all this, you know, how this kind of breaks us down. And this really spotlighted the importance of community and connection for me because this is something that everywhere we went, people were watching the game together, having conversations, you know, in the streets, just having the best time. I really did not see a lot of people stuck on their phone going inward, right? They were all going outward into like what is going on around us. Yeah. So I think that really it comes down to how important and critical it is that we have community and connection. And this is just one of those things that encourages and helps, I think, push that forward, events like this, yeah.
When we go into our phone, do we go into ourselves? Like it's your phone, it's in your pocket, it's a little device, but it's so intimate.
Right.
When I open up my phone, I'm just checking my email, my text messages.
Mhm.
Am I not just going into my own space? You know what I mean? Like, right? Because we're like you just said, it's like when we don't. It's a lot easier to appreciate the beauty in the world, and at least behold the beauty that is fucking right there.
Mhm.
When we're not just like me, and probably woe is me, me. Right? It was like no. release yourself from yourself, be outward. And it's like everybody has this. There's like a pandemic called this reflex of like,
Right.
me. And I wonder if when we go to our phone, are we going me?
Well, I think, I don't know, I can just speak for myself, but what I see is I see myself go into work mode, right? So I pick up my phone and I'm like, oh, I have to do this task and all these things that I have to do on my phone, emails, texts, calendar, scheduling, like you name it, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things. But then there's like I'm going to play a game and I'm going to go research something that has nothing to do with anything. And I don't really need to spend I'm on vacation. I shouldn't be researching the next vacation. Right.
True. That is a bit silly.
Or, yeah, I think we waste so much time on our phone doing really pointless things that are an escape.
A distraction.
And a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, I said it to me, it made sense. I was like, and then you said it too, and you're like, well, like everything that you listed that you do on your phone, you started with I. But you're a mother. So like I sacrifice myself for my family, like you. You know what I mean? So it's like, it is weird to be like, how selfish are you though? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you can think about yourself conceitedly. I'm sure you have the capacity to do so.
All
but like
the time. Yeah.
It's like, I feel like when you become a parent and you like enter parenthood, your core values shift so crazy that like, and it's like no longer about just you. So it's like, one, I think out of principle, we're not in the same boat.
Yeah.
So I like, reflexive when we go to our phone, I don't think you're more, I mean, it could be. It's so crazy.
I mean, a lot of my stuff is like, honestly, like I went through my list today. We're gone for 2 days, right? Or we're home for 2 days before we leave again.
Wait, you're gonna be here tomorrow?
No, I leave tomorrow morning, but I was here yesterday.
You bastards. She hides from me. She abandons me and she hides
I'm only gone for 3 days and then I'm back for a month. So there's that.
I'm going to get into trouble.
You're not going to get into trouble.
And I'll show you.
I love my middle child did that all the time. Every time I'd leave town, he'd do something that would
to help you remember him.
Clearly, he did do that. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, because of the guilt. Because the guilt inside you. Look at her.
Yeah. Oh, so I went through my list, and my list is pretty much like drop off the dry cleaning, pick up the laundry, get everything done within a short period of time, send a check out to this person, do this. And yeah, it's all just kind of monotonous tasks. And it's not like I don't do stuff like, ooh, I want that. I go on Instagram and I'm like, I need that sweater. And maybe I need those pants too. And that skincare.
I guess. No, thank you. Because when you.
So I do that. But
yes.
But it's limited. I do it.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
You saying that made me reapproach it. Because now it's like, oh, well, the answer to my question is actually very site specific. It's about what have you designed your phone to be a vector of?
Right.
Look at your son's phone. It can only communicate to immediate family members that would die for him.
It was like watching.
Yeah, his watch, right?
Yeah.
So what's his? His is just a family communication device. No internet, doom scrolling, nothing. So like his vector is familial entirely.
Right. And mine's got my bank and my
yes,
it's like
right.
all of your yeah.
Yours is more yours is also, I would say, primarily familial. Right? Like primarily, right? And mine. We don't need to go there. No, but right. So it's like, actually, we kind of just, thank you. You helped me to like answer that question, because I was thinking more in black and white terms, but it is very gray.
It is hard. I wish that not so much was accessible on the phone. Everything's easy to do now. Transfer money. I can buy stock. You could just do everything there. Right. And so it consumes you. You spend more and more time in there.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like that for myself. I don't like it for others. And I think that before, if you were on your computer or something, you were in your office, you were somewhere, right? And now you're social, you're out in the world. I'm at a game, and you could, hypothetically, you could be on this anywhere you want.
The portal comes with you.
Right. And that is I feel like that's kind of part of the problem.
Yeah.
But
we don't have the discipline for that.
I will say that everywhere we went, I mean, even Brian was really good. We bring our phone out for pictures and things like that. But it was much more being a part of the celebration and having the fun. And they had face painters and they had, it was really like the Socceroos, the Australian team. They had like these blown up kangaroos like sticking out the back of their shirts. And there was just so many fun costumes. There was so many fun people.
Yeah.
And yeah, the long lines didn't seem so bad and everything was pretty awesome.
Can I tell you an inappropriate story?
How inappropriate, Kylen?
I'm going to scale 1 to 10. 4.
But your version of
3.
Okay, Kylen, tell me.
When I was 16, my mom took me and her to go see the Police for their like reunion tour.
Oh, the band, yes.
Yeah. I wasn't taken to the Police, not yet.
I wasn't sure what I was like. What did you do?
I'm sketchy. And it was a wonderful time. It was Oakland Stadium. Open stadium.
Got to see Sting. That's all.
I got to see Sting. It was amazing. They're an amazing band. Oh my God. His voice is timeless. Oh my God.
I love him, yeah.
So good. They hotboxed the fuck out of that stadium. That was an open, maybe the dome could have closed. It was not closed. They hotboxed that stadium. My mom realized this. She starts panicking and she said something awesome, like, hold your breath. She was just getting her like, what do I do? My baby's getting hot. Don't get hot, baby.
Yeah.
Tells me to hold my breath. And I'm like, Mom. And she's like, and she looked at me, she's like, fuck. She's like, you're about to get high right now. There's nothing I can do about it. She's just like, she did not see this coming. Like, we didn't have nosebleed seats, but we were not in the middle of the freaking kumbaya over there,
Yeah.
But anyways, we're talking about gross things.
Oh, geez.
Talking about lines, right? I was in the longest line ever to go to the bathroom. And when I got in there, I didn't want to be there.
Right.
I weighed and measured the alternatives, my options. I chose to stick with it. I got myself a stall.
Okay.
And I sat down in my stall.
Oh. Poor choice.
True. Not as poor as the gentleman next to me, who I could only see halfway up his shins, ankles, sock shoes, trousers dropped. Well, because he's
no.
His trousers are dropped on the ground.
Yeah.
Because he's using the thing, right?
Poor choice.
You know what was in the middle of his trousers? A tray of nachos.
Oh, Jesus.
And this man, this man
That's so gross.
had my full attention. For you see, he would, I would occasionally see his hand come into view because he would come down and scoop up some nachos and I assume, eat it.
That's disgusting.
So I heard this like scoop, and then I heard a yum, 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 and then I heard a violent poop. And it was as if, as he put it in, it was coming out like hot shrapnel.
I get it.
And I sat there and it was the most horrific experience. It was one of the most horrific experiences of my life where I just sat there and I just because the nachos they kind of look like it. They kind of the top part, you know what I'm saying?
I just ate nachos. Did you have to bring this up like 20 minutes after I had nachos?
I've been waiting. Don't leave me.
It's so gross. Okay. I get the gist. Disgusting.
Yeah.
That is gross.
Yeah. It was a good concert though.
It's more than a 3 or 4. It's pretty gross.
It kind of hit my nuts when I slapped my hand right there. I think that was karma. If I made you feel uneasy, now I feel uneasy.
I'm glad. Oh, man. Anyways, how do we get on nachos and nuts? And
I was waiting. I'm a patient kind of guy.
That had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
I think you said, oh, I know how I did it. I did it like this. You were like, and the lines weren't that bad.
Oh, and then you just took it.
And I was like, line to the bathroom, nachos.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm considerate like that. I think of you.
Thank you, Kylen. So, anyways, back to all this feeling small.
Feeling small.
Yeah. Awe.
Oh, yes, the shock. There it is. The shock. Yeah.
What makes you feel that way?
Mushrooms.
Make you feel small?
Yeah. It's easier to see things with like a macro lens. Like for whatever reason, the interconnectivity of things is more apparent. And with that being said, or that being seen, you see that you're connected to something, which one makes you seem small because you're a piece part of it. But two, usually the scale of everything that which is connected is just mathematically, emotionally, any real pragmatic way you want to look at it, it's just bigger than you'll ever be. Your entire existence, start to finish.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, we are just small.
We are small, but not insignificant.
Not insignificant.
Yeah.
But a thing that was interesting to me, it's like Brian, when he gets emotional about things. And
Mushrooms?
No, not yes, maybe mushrooms. No, he gets emotional about things like when he feels connected, when he has that awe, he tears, like he gets emotional about it.
Was he crying at the game?
Well, he would see things like in social media stuff that would come up
during.
No, not during the game, but like, we're sitting in our room afterwards, just like, and they would make him emotional about it.
Like angry or just?
No, about people coming together, being connected.
Oh, he liked it.
He likes it. And it makes him feel, I think, more insignificant to the level of which he can be empathetic and connect with everybody. You know what I mean? Like we get we get so caught up in our day to day, right? Our ego, our significance, all of
and even
that.
the job that positions you to kind of enforce that and to have that.
I'm special.
Yeah, I'm significant and you should treat my time as such. Yeah, it's part of his job. So yeah, I could see that. I don't ever live that.
Yeah.
So it took me a second. I was like, wow, you want to be insignificant? Where the fuck? Oh, that's right. You're stuck in the office all day managing people. I'm like, I could actually, I could see that. Right. So we were just like, I don't want to be talked to.
A lot of times he doesn't want to be talked to.
Or yeah, what was it the other day? There was like 2 weeks ago. You're like, yeah, I do him a favor and I'll make a decision for him. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how's it a favor? And it's like, all he does is make fucking decisions. He doesn't want to at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like analysis paralysis. It's like all he does, he wants somebody to take that away from him.
I'll take it away from him. You won't like it.
Well, I think like when we go to a like ordering food, restaurant, whatever it is, a lot of times he's just made so many decisions in that day, he doesn't want to think. So he wants me to think for him, which is fine.
You know what's weird? This one's not going to be gross, I promise.
Always,
I said I promise. There's some people that'll order for you. It's part of the culture. It's part of the customs, right? I trust very few people to know me that well. If you do and you did it, I would be impressed. I
knew what to order you today, but I didn't order for you.
Probably out of like manners, right?
Yeah.
Like it's something that I'm there with you where I'm like, I'm not going to speak for you. Like you're not enfeebled. You're not incompetent. You know what you want. You're sentient. Right. Like something about this. There's a notion in my head that if I did everything for you, it's almost an admittance of like, I don't think you could do it on your own. It's somewhat disrespectful, right? And so I see people do things differently and I simply go, different folks, different strokes, right? And for whatever reason, when I find out that a girl wants that to happen, I'm like, fuck you. Like, I'm not even like, different folks, different strokes. It's a cultural thing. I'm like, you're wrong. Like, I don't like it when I don't know what it is. I'm like, I think I have an insecurity here because I can't rationalize why I have such an illogical jump to this very niche and specific thing. And I'm just like, but why am I intimidated by a woman wanting a man? Maybe it's because I would never want to do it. So the idea that a woman would want me to do something that I would never want to do makes me hypothetically uncomfortable. I don't know what it is, but hypothetically, I don't like them.
Maybe it's about values. It's like, are your values in alignment? And so are you confusing that somebody just doesn't want to have to think, like with Brian saying like, can you just handle it, Kenda? With, I just want a man to do everything for him. Those are two different things. So
exhaustion versus incompetence. Yeah.
And I think that given the current climate, like where we have all this people putting all that trad wife stuff out, and that I could imagine for you as somebody who's in the dating world, that could make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just want equal. It's like, we got a lot of work to do, like including it within ourselves. So I want someone that's.
But if you're with I think there's a difference when we're on a first date and just order for me, and we've been together for years and I can read that you need me to take over here. Those are totally different things.
Yeah.
And so.
I like the latter.
Yeah. So I think that you'll discover as you get to know people and date and get out there in the world that your instinct is probably right. If a woman's having you order for her and you just started dating, that maybe she's looking for a certain type of relationship that might not align with what you want.
See, that's a nicer way to put it. I was going to be like, you're dumb, wrong, and maybe evil. I'm kidding, the last part, but yeah, you're right. Different folks, different strokes. She's looking for there's tattooed ladies that are looking for a tattooed man, and I got my tattoos, but I'm not that. I'm not the fucking edgy fucking edgelord, kind of always brooding and like, are you talking to me? Like, you don't want to do that, I'll kill you. You know, I'm like, you don't want to talk to me because I'm fucking deranged and I'll bother you emotionally, you know, but I'm not like threatening. And I feel like I've dated a couple of women who are like, you're halfway there. You got some tattoos.
You're halfway there.
Yeah, like, you're halfway there. Like, just stop smiling so much and like maybe pick a fight or two more.
You know,
and I was like, I've never have I ever. Because I'd love to pick a fight or two more. That's
I'm like, I was gonna say, that does sound like you.
There's a reason we met up somewhere. Dive bar.
Oh yeah.
Love that.
I mean, I met my husband at a dive bar and he's not, I wouldn't say he's the typical guy you meet at a dive bar.
You're telling me to go to a dive bar. I love it.
But no, it's like you're going to find the kind of person that you know, that your values align with theirs. And hopefully those are the ones you pick, because when it doesn't, that's where the drama lives.
Yeah. Like we can make these connections.
Yeah.
But they're not always good.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you look at so many unhappy people out there.
Because they're fucking connected to the wrong thing.
Yeah. And the whole time they're fighting. And I mean, I remember, if you just like thinking back, I remember when I was like 19, 20, I had a boyfriend for 3 years who's passed away now.
Oh.
And he was an alcoholic. And I was kind of naive. I didn't because I was because I was young. I didn't know what was going on, right? And I didn't know he did drugs. I didn't know any of these things. And I lived with him, but he would like disappear for a day and I just didn't connect the dots, you know? And so, and my mom did, because my mom's like, this is probably not a good choice for you. But at the same time, it's like I wasn't listening to her.
Yeah.
And it took me a few years to get out of that relationship. But I had parents who were very educated, that my mom was a therapist, my dad, you know, Jamie, doctor. And they never told me what to do. They never said, oh, Kenda, you should break up with that guy. My mom just let me play it out for myself, because she didn't want to disconnect from me. She didn't want me to be like, you don't like my boyfriend, so I'm not going to see you, right? She kind of just sat back and waited. Yeah.
Smart.
which was good. But when I was in that relationship, we would drive somewhere, he'd get mad at me, we'd get in a fight, and he would just kick me out of the car and like make me walk home. Like just these ridiculous, and he was 10 years older than me. So I was like 19, he was like 29.
Whoa, guy.
And we
robbing the cradle and then fucking dropping off the baby in the newspaper? Right. Like, what are you doing?
Then we broke up around 22. So he was like 32.
You were getting too old for him.
But I think it was more of like, I was growing up and maturing and he wasn't. And I realized that I was in a really kind of abusive relationship. I mean, it wasn't physically abusive, but it was verbally.
Yeah, emotionally tyrannical.
The things he would do was just like the worst.
He'd actually make you watch. It's so childish.
But I thought I was like in love, you know? And so,
like your first relationship.
It was like my first real relationship. Looking back on that, right? It's like, you don't know what you're looking for. And I knew that I had these parents, that they had these values, and I knew I grew up with these values. And this was nothing like anything I grew up with. So I really didn't know what was normal yet as far as like a partnership, because my parents were divorced, and my mom would date people, but it wasn't, I don't know. I just didn't see a lot of the interaction of a couple at that time.
That's so interesting. That's such an interesting thing to say. It's so true. That's like, yeah, like a lot of the things that helped me navigate my life when it was new and fresh and I'd yet to be experienced by me.
Right.
I would like take intuitive inspiration from what? It's like stories I've seen and heard, movies, TV shows,
Right.
right? And I didn't watch the best ones, so like I fucking emulated some terrible motherfuckers.
Right.
Was like, oh, you don't like me? I should make you feel terrible pain. Like, why? Be like, I don't know. That guy had a leather jacket. Maybe I want a leather jacket. Like, what about the problem at hand? It's not about the problem. Did you see his leather jacket? I want a leather jacket. It was just
Right.
like completely devoid of logic. But ultimately, I'm just like, what this situation calls for? Patrick Swayze. I'm gonna come in, fucking just dirty dance a motherfucker right here, and yeah, just because I realized, like, I look at that and I'm like, that's why I smoke cigarettes. That was the original thing, was like, I wanted to be seen as something, and I believe that me smoking a cigarette would suffice.
Yeah.
In that projection of this image, this interpretation of me, hopefully by my peers, like, oh.
Well, you were curating your own image.
Yeah.
And,
Or attempting to. No, I was, but the idea that I was looking cool was not happening.
Right.
Or if it was working, it was, I'm not proud of that, and they shouldn't be either. Gullible fools. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because after that relationship, I dated for a little bit, and then I met my oldest son's dad, little son's dad. So I was like 23 when I got pregnant with him, and then 24 when I had him.
Go.
So I just kind of went through these, just being immature, and I really did not know how to be in a relationship. And really, I learned with Brian how to be in a relationship. And it was not easy, because there was years where I was like, oh my God, I just can't handle this person, And I'm sure he felt the same too. Like, the first few years were really hard. There were a lot of fun too, but they were hard. And then there was years where we were not in alignment on what maybe our values. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was like we saw raising children very different. And then it took us, I think, into the last like probably 5 years where we were in alignment on that. Yeah, sometimes it's just being able to get over things quickly and time and seat. When I'm somebody who gets over things quickly, he's mad a little longer. I mean, we could fight, and 30 minutes later, I'm fine. Whereas Brian might sit with that thing for days. He's gotten better at it, but he used to be, oh my God, you could just see him, right. He's vindictive and angry, and how is he going to make you pay?
Uh-huh.
But I do think it was like a lot of laughter and humor always got us through.
Yeah.
So,
But comparatively.
So like he could do that, and then I would do exactly what I just did. I am vindictive and angry. I'd like mess with him, and then he would have to laugh at it because he was like, I am being ridiculous, and vice versa. He makes me laugh at myself all the time too. So I think laughter does heal, and a lot of times we use that in our relationship to move through things.
I think it's a wonderful tool navigating emotions and the complexities of life that we kind of like all inadvertently share the struggle of, like whether it be directly or the fact that I love you so much that if it affects you, it's going to affect me too. Right. I think that's so marvelous. That's why, to me, anything that attacks comedy is just like, what do you think you're doing there, buddy? Like,
we need it.
That's a fucking amazing tool that helps us navigate very treacherous waters filled with fucking turmoil. And you might not know it, but what you're advocating is that we simply do not navigate at all. Because that's what happens when you pull back for the sake of so considerate, so much whatever, that eventually it's like you're unwilling to risk the error. It's like, we're erroneous creatures. We're gonna make mistakes. That's what we learn from most. Right. If you think it's success to sit idly by and do nothing about it and watch it all spill out in front of you, you're a fool, let alone mistaken.
Yeah.
Or so I say. And I'm a Peter Pan man.
There's a couple of things there, but one is, we were talking about, I think you and I talked about it last week, which was how important play is, right? It's for learning boundaries.
Yeah.
With whether it's physical play or verbal play.
Yeah.
Right. And so you kind of can push against the boundary, and then you go, oh, that's too far, right? So that helps children, that helps adults, that helps us all develop that skill and that finesse in our communities with our friends, our family, and everything. But on the other side of it is like, I think about how we're raised. I grew up in a family where humor was used a lot. You went to Liverpool with us. The Liverpudlians are hilarious, and all they do is joke with each other and make fun of each other.
I love them.
The other thing I grew up with that's very different than, because Brian didn't grow up with that as much, which is funny because he's really one of the funniest people I know. So he had it on one side of his family, but his mother's side, I don't think that they use it in the same way as his father's side.
What, just facetious?
Yeah, just the humor, the wit and the sarcasm and all of that. And the other part that was different for us as a couple was my family is very musical. And even my grandpa, who wasn't a musician, but if you went into my grandpa's house, there was always music on. From the time he woke up till he went to bed, there was music playing in that house. And the same was in my house because my mom was a musician and she grew up in that house. So for us, I put music, I walk in the door and I turn music on. That's just something I'm used to. And for Brian, that was a little strange. And for his mom, for sure, it's strange because that's not how they do it. So, that's part of the, like, as you meet somebody, understanding the differences in culture, but also understanding what you can take from that. Like for Brian, he's completely embraced my family, their humor and the music. Like he loves it now. Whereas when we first started dating, that wasn't his norm.
Yeah.
It is great to be able to offer that.
I think it's one of the greatest invitations of all time for all of us when someone or something invites you to, like, self-aware of your own volition, walk into a new territory and be like, I may or may not know. I may not know what I think I know. There might be something else here that I don't know. Maybe what I do know isn't sufficient to what they know. Maybe they know something better, right? And I think it's like one of the healthiest things you can do is like go into a situation and it's really hard for me to be like, oh, how does this person who's lived twice as long as me possibly know anything more than me? And it's like, I'll be real, like I know that I have to fight myself. And it's like a character, the character that pretends to know more than, how could you, you idiot? You're barely 30, monkey. Like, what do you know? How to be a shithead? And then what else? Nothing? Great. But like my dad, 50 years contractor, telling me how to build a house. And I'm over here thinking, my way might be better. It's probably better. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? I am. I goddamn am, but that's like a real thing. And so, and so maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I see the most direct growth in other people when they do things like this. Reluctantly. Fine. I'll do it. Do what? I will put myself in a position where I'm actually listening, reluctantly, begrudgingly, but the ears are still open enough that fucking shock happens when he finds out, oh, fuck. I guess I didn't know it all. It's like that one notion is actually just chiseled in permanently. Like you might just take that elsewhere, not the site-specific new information you've found here for this niche little subject.
Yeah.
But hey, you thought you knew everything.
Well, and I think this leads us back to like being small, and not small in the sense that you have no value, because I think we use that term and like, don't make yourself small.
Yeah.
And which is different.
Yeah.
But in the way that we're here with some, billions of human beings.
The grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, you're very small and insignificant.
Yeah.
And being able to just be in that moment of listening, having the skill to listen to somebody, to learn. One of the things we were talking to Parker about this week, because you see all these athletes, and I was talking to that guy that I told you how he wrote the, I don't know if I told you, but I was on the plane and we were
Zoolander.
No, we were going from Vancouver to Seattle, and the guy behind us has his USA gear on, and I have my USA gear on.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, hey, go USA. And we're like, you're going to the game? Yeah. And he was just at the Canada game too. And him and I started talking about how my family is like Everton fans. And then he goes, oh, and he pulls out his book and he said, here's the Landon Donovan memoir. I wrote it. And I was like, awesome. And he gave me the book. And so he was the writer for that book with Landon Donovan. And it was like, first of all, it was like the coolest moment because I was like, thank you. Aren't you going to sign it?
That was your coolest moment, asking for more?
No, I mean, no, it was like, no, it was the coolest moment. Like, as far as like you're on a plane, you don't know what to expect. And you're just coming together and connecting.
Do we have
right?
screaming kids? Is this guy going to fart all ride next to me?
Well, and I think it's easy to be like, especially on a plane or something, like not to pay attention to anybody around you. And this just goes back to like, we had a common connection goal, and him and I ended up having a really great conversation. And so
that is pretty cool.
And that's the fun of it, is like meeting new people and being curious. And so here I was like, I'm no expert. I'm not pretending to be the expert in soccer, football. But here he had something to bring to the table and like tell me about his book and about that process. And we got into a really good conversation. And I was in awe of him. Like, here's this guy that's out there doing it. And he was telling me how he had a podcast about courage and told me some people I should go and watch their podcasts. And it's really, I think, easy as somebody who's come from business to be like, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm so great, even at my age, right? Like, I'm experienced. What is somebody going to teach me? And I have to always remind myself that I'm new to this. I'm still learning. I'm always going to be learning, right? And that I don't have to be self-important. I can meet this person and this guy is doing some really cool stuff. And isn't that wonderful? And I don't need to compare myself, or I don't need to think that, hey, I'm so important. And I think a lot of times we miss connections or opportunities because of our ego.
I'll say something that, for being honest, it was like, maybe they weren't trying to connect, but like, let's say the opportunity was there and they're like, hey, I'm this. Or, hey, this is what interests me. And it's kind of an invitation to be like, does that interest you too? We could connect on that. What shared similarities do we have? We could connect on that. And ultimately, a very common thing for me to do is to like establish my value.
Right.
And like, I'll justify, be like, oh, I just want to let them know like how I could help them. And it's like, you're trying to say that you're helpful on top of all these other accolades because you're up here. That's what you're trying to say. You're trying to say you're up here, right? And I'm
well, you are, but what you're also doing, and I've done this through the years. I mean, you saying this is so true, which was, I really actually felt like I was not worthy and not worth it. And I wanted to prove I was. And so I would do things like that, and still sometimes do it because of my insecurities. And so it's like, when you're feeling insecure, when you don't feel worthy, it's really easy to be like, I'm going to show them that I have value too. And then we take over conversations. You can tell them how fabulous you are. And you actually lose the connection because now they're feeling uncomfortable, intimidated, or also like, what does this person do?
yeah,
what's going on here?
I'm at my cringiest when I'm telling someone a previously like successful story, successful in the sense of it was entertaining. I got like an applause. People were showering me with compliments, or I could tell that I was well received in this moment. And it was like, what was received clearly in this moment? My arrogance. Because before I told this story, it was as if I said the words, this is going to go over well because I'm a good storyteller. Here I go.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, you fucking cringe lord. Like, God. But I meant well. I was just trying to entertain you.
You're also trying to connect. There's like that, trying to connect.
But I think actually, now that I say that, what if I was trying to do everything that you just said, but what if time is linear? And therefore, what was I trying to do first before I made that connection? before I was entertaining, what was the first thing I actually tried to do? Tell people my value.
Right.
That's not going to help me. That's not going to help our connection.
No.
They will assign that value after the connection. They'll assign the value to the connection.
Well, it's good you're figuring this out now. Like, I felt like it was my 40s when I started to go, why am I so insecure? Why,
Yeah. That's why I take mushrooms. I go, why am I such a bitch?
We were talking about this a week or so ago. It's like something called like the pratfall theory or something like that.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
Yeah. And it's like when you put yourself as the authority, right? And are too, like, I'm intelligent, I know what I'm talking. When you do too much of that, you actually make other people feel less connected to you because they're like, oh, this person's arrogant, too educated, to whatever. We aren't the same. We don't connect. You were talking about why Joe Rogan is popular, right? And so when somebody is intelligent, they are the authority, they understand, and then they do something like spill a drink or whatever it is, they make themselves more approachable. And so I think what a lot of us can do is actually do the opposite of what we really want. We want connection. We want to be valued. And then what we're really doing is pushing people away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's me for sure.
I've been examining this myself for years. Like, what is this about? Why do I do that? All I want to do is connect. And I'm creating this divide between us because I don't feel worthy. I don't feel good about myself,
Yeah.
and I feel like I have something to prove all the time, which goes back to, I always felt like I had something to prove because I had a dad who left when I was young. So I felt abandoned.
Yeah.
Right.
We're forever young in that insecure sense.
Yeah. And that kind of, I feel like that was really messed me up for a lot of years because I felt like he picked like my stepmom over me. Right. So as growing up, it's like, you feel like you're never good enough with men. So I would like break up with them before they would break up with me because I'm like, well, they're going to leave sometime. That was my thing when I was young. And eventually I got over that. And obviously, Brian and I have been together for like 16 years. So,
yeah, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Heard a lot of myself in that conversation. I'm just like,
oh, I'm sure.
fuckers.
Why do you think we like connect so much? Because I see you and I go, oh, because I know what's next, Kylen.
Because you believed me when I told you how valuable I was.
Because I know all of you. I know you're still going through it, and that's okay. That's part of the youth.
It's gross when you got a mirror.
It is hard.
You're like,
right?
Like, why is that me? Why do I do these
Why do I keep
things?
on sabotaging?
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Self-awareness. Take it away sometimes. Take it away. But please don't, because that's even more terrifying, is being ignorant to how fucking horrible I am.
It's hard, but you got to be kind to yourself too,
Yeah. Constructive criticism. You're right.
Ignorance is bliss in some ways, and then at the same time, it also can be a hindrance to our growth.
Yeah.
Self-awareness, sometimes it's hard. But I think that the difference is I can look at these parts of myself now.
And what, forgive them?
Yes, forgive them, but also instead I create a dialogue in my head, which I'm like, you poor little thing. Like, you were so young, so naive. I'm sorry that you feel insecure. I can have a like internal conversation with myself, which softens it a little bit and it hurts less. It becomes less about you're an idiot and so cringy and I'm embarrassed to be you. It turns from that into, you just had some growing up to do. You had some things to work through, and that's okay. That's part of the human experience. And why is it so easy for us to see that in others and be kind to others and forgive them,
Distance. There's distance.
Right. And so when I talk to like Parker, he's 10 and he's constantly criticizing, like, I need to be better at this. And it's like, why? Like, you're failing up. That's part of it, right? Just, you're going to keep on making mistakes, just like you learned to walk. You tried and tried and tried for a long time. And then one day you could, but you had to fall, hundreds of times before you got up. And why is it that we forget that as we get older? Why is it we forget we're going to fail up? Hopefully, if you have an awareness or if you're willing to explore it with yourself.
I feel like that lesson's got to come from both of you. For him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we both talk to him about it all the time.
Because I was just thinking about that, and I was like, I got a bunch of like, why do I do what I do? And the why being answered by the origination, like the root of the insecurity. Where did the insecurity originate? Clearly, we can all assume at a young age, right? Very, very easy to foster permanent insecurity there, right? And then it's like, all right, what was said? What was done? What did I see? What did I perceive? And then take inwardly and keep, apparently, malformed or not. Like, what did I perceive and then take with me? Right. And for Parker, for example, I would safely assume I blame Brian. Betting man, I'd put money on that. But just because it's, like, I'm sure it was nothing direct. It was more so just like mannerisms, just probably Parker even overhearing him talk to his fellow employees on the phone, because that's what he does. He manages people, right? I'm sure just overhearing a conversation in the adult world. Right. And all these things, maybe he just walked away without Brian even saying anything directly to him. I bet Brian saw that and was like, hey, look at me. Let me set you straight. And it was too late. The damage was done. He heard big boy words, and not even curse words. I just mean big word ideas, right? And it's like, that's what I did a lot because, like I was so curious. I remember when I was in like kindergarten, I walked to my parents and I was like, hey. And they all looked at me like, oh shit. Little kid question, like on our toes. I was like, what's sex? And I remember my dad looked around like, who the fuck told you that word? I'm going to kill him. My mom like just touched him and was like, calm down. Like, we're going to deal with this. My dad was like, all right.
Yeah.
And then my dad actually led the way on that one. He was like, when mommy and a daddy love each other. And he gave me a very, very wonderful, simplistic PG-13 explanation. He did a great job.
Yeah.
I remember I came back next week because I found out the word gay and I found out what that was.
Oh, yeah, you told me all
my
about
dad was like, "Did you fucking ever ask that question again?" I was like, "Okay, Dad, like calm down, you Neanderthal,
Yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, I look at a lot of things and I go, like, why did I want to stab that man on the train? I didn't want to. Why did I want to take his eyeballs?
Well, it's like,
why was I threatened by his eyeballs?
What is the origin of all of it, right? Where does it all come from? Because
and sorry to cut you off, but sorry to cut you off, but what I was getting at is like the origin. Ultimately, I mean, unless you are with a tyrannical or just some fucking dickhead, normally kid should be surrounded by parents and they should love him and hopefully they're not too terrible at it. They do a somewhat sufficient job. If that is the case, unless the exception is there, wouldn't that mean by and large that regardless of the site-specific niche insecurity, its origination is always misinterpretation? And like due to like the inherent nature of youthful naivete or ignorance, it just comes with the territory. But usually it's like a misinterpretation.
Well, yeah. And I think when we're young, we form ideas that are not fully formed, right? Like, we don't understand all of the nuance, everything around us. We just have like cause and effect a lot. Right?
Yeah.
And so it was interesting that you talk about Brian and Parker because we're going to the airport and we weren't late, but Parker's he hates to be late. And he's freaking out we're going to be late. And we're like, Parker, we're fine. We got this handled. Like, don't worry.
That's
did it like twice on the trip. And Brian is like, looks at me and goes, is this how I am? And I was like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
And he's like, God, it's really annoying. And I'm like, I know.
That must have been a wonderful moment for you.
Right. I was just like, oh God. Yeah. I'm like, mini me. And it's so funny because it's like he doesn't have to be worried about these things at all, right? Like we're making sure we're Ubering to the next place and we're here. We know the time, we know when we need to be everywhere. And he really stresses out about being late places. And that doesn't bother me. Like, not in the way that like I'm going to be crazy late, but like 5-10 minutes I can handle.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a window of things happen and thanks for understanding.
Right. And
Thanks
Brian
for being here in the first place.
is like, like my dad will be early because that makes him comfortable. And I just walk the line.
because you are comfortable walking line. They're not. They don't even want to get there. They don't want to tow it. They don't want to take their shoes off. Get away from me.
Yeah, it's so funny. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and we were talking about like how around the age 5 we form like this idea about that things have to be fair, right? And so, so like around 5, it's like things have to be fair. And it's like, well, we learn over our lifetime, life isn't fair, right?
I think it's because we learned that the worst way to behave is tyrannically, and that children are tyrannical in nature. It comes with the curiosity and exploration of defining the world's boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like kids are inherently tyrannical. And so, and we didn't encourage it, we accepted it. And then at one point they become like cognitively viable or like sentient enough that we're like, hey, keep exploring, stay curious.
Right.
Don't be a dick.
Right.
And we choose better words. But really, that's when we're saying like, hey, be fair. And I think the misnomer is not because life is fair. It's truly because being fair or striving to aim for it is better than disregarding it and self-servingly being a tyrannical turd.
Right. But the unfortunate part of that is that we think we know what fair is, right? We create all these ideas of what fair is, and
True.
right? And life is just not black and white.
No.
It's very gray. And so it is, and we get stuck in that. And unless we keep growing, we can still even be adults and get stuck in that. And it's just interesting. Like Brian and I will get into conversations about fairness. And he still has a part of that inside, even though he understands that life isn't fair. And he's telling our kids all the time, life isn't fair.
And yet, and then he's also fighting for fairness.
But his mom is 60 something and she feels like everything has to be fair. And it just really, it kind of shows you where she got stuck on, it's like, no, life is not fair. It's just never going to be equitable to every single person in the same way, right?
Yeah, equal opportunity, not outcome.
Well, and I tried we had a conversation about, not to get too into it, but we had a conversation about welfare.
Mhm.
And, well, some people take advantage. You're right. Some people do take advantage. There are always going to be people in life that take advantage.
Some people break the rules.
Right. Some people
Should we not have rules?
Right. And it's like, yeah, you're going to have that, but then you have the people that actually really benefit from it, which is most of the people.
By and large.
By and large. It's just like anything. You're always going to have the people that are takers, that take advantage, that do whatever.
Yeah.
There's going to be a margin and error with everything you do. And I think that's a hard thing for people to understand because they grasp onto the really shitty part. And then they're like, well, see, yeah.
It's easier to rationalize simplistically versus like navigate fleshing out all the complexities and nuances and still maintaining the correct frame, which I suck at. That's why I like to fight people. I'm bigger than you. How about that one?
Well, but that's like how you and I, like what we talk about sometimes when you get heated about something, it's like, it's not that simple. This person's an asshole. It probably is much more deep than that. You have no idea about their backstory,
Right. That's almost like a symptom. No, but like for reals, no, you're so right. Like that is actually better perceived as a fucking symptom of my exhaustion.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm clearly a curious guy.
Right.
I'm obsessive about the truth to the point where it's helpful advice that says, do you want to be right or do you want to get along? And I need to hear that a lot because absolutely.
And I say that a lot to him.
She says a lot to me.
And I say it to my husband too.
And like her husband, we listen sometimes.
Like, would you rather be right or would you rather get along? Because I think for me in life, I kind of strive for getting along. And there are certain things I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell Brian. Is this something you will die on that hill? Because everything can't be that. You have to pick the things that are really important to you. And then other things, I just would rather get along. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
The worst part is that I argued this the other night and I was on my side of the fence. I was like, oh, fucking, we're going to define everything. We're going to fucking, like, I remember you're like, you got to make that list. Is this one of those things? And I was like, you gave me too much room to work with. I'll put one thing on the list of what I won't die on the hill for, and I'll put every other fucking thing on the list that we're going to die on the hill for. And as I was doing that, the one thing that just destroyed everything was, what don't you know? And then it was like, more than I do know. And then it was like, what has been the most common alleviation of my own ignorance? And that has been other people's knowledge, or, from other people.
Yeah.
And like, I've never once gotten new information out of somebody by telling them what I know.
Right.
Or not not asking about it. Like telling them, this is the way the world works. All right. And someone's like, you're right. Actually, it works like this. No, what the fuck? Like, they're like, okay, you want to be heard? I'll just shut up, even if I disagree, right? Like, because of the way I spoke or whatever, right?
That happens all the time when we realize that people shut off and shut down to us, right?
Yeah. And that we make them shut down.
And we make them shut down. And the interesting thing I find is that so often, like, you're wanting to have that engagement and you stop paying attention to their body language, to what's going on with them. You're just basically just telling them everything you want, a story.
Yeah.
Right?
You're focused on the story.
I'm on my soapbox.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit here and tell you everything I think.
Yeah. You're focused on being creative and being precise, but you're also apparently ignorant of your audience, why are you talking about what you're talking about in the first place? It's to be heard by who, why, and how are they? Gone? So is your point. Right? Yeah.
Just such a skill, I think, to develop as we get older, right? Especially in, relationships, in business, all of it. It's like a critical skill to be able to read people and understand people and also to open them up to dialogue.
I'm gonna admit something horrible. Surprise.
I bet you it's not gonna be shocking.
No, and actually, I bet you you're gonna be like, I've known this, or I've assumed this. But the idea being is that this isn't it, but it's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm very good at reading people. Very good. I will read people and see their insecurity and correlate. Maybe I'm assuming. I'm always assuming, but I'm probably right. That's the scary part. Arrogance, I know. But the idea being is that really, I'm looking at someone that I know and I've been with them for the past 2 days. I'm on the fucking money when it comes to not only what they're feeling, but why they're feeling it. And I can say this because it is all my fault. With real confidence, I can say this. And the funny part is that instead of using that skill, that awareness of my perception, and going, okay, I'm gonna cater to you perfectly now. I'm gonna analyze. I'm gonna come up with a plan. Hell yeah, progress will be made. Instead, I'll be like, how dare you feel that way? Like, you haven't said shit. I'm just looking at you. I'm being insecure. But you want to be insecure? I'll be fucking insecure. Not actually, but that's what ends up happening. So I'll see somebody. I'm like, oh, you're hurt. Why are you hurt? Well, I did that because you made me. I'll do it again. Right? Like, it's crazy, right? Like, so it's like,
you are slightly crazy.
I am slightly crazy.
Yeah.
I'd rather be slightly crazy than the aggressively normal.
I think the thing is, it's not about normal or crazy. It's more about, are you developing and honing your skill in life? Are you constantly moving towards
a better version of myself?
Yeah.
Baby steps at a time, to say the least, but yes.
I think that's it. It's like realizing why we do stuff. Why do we troll people? Why do we say insensitive things? Why do we need to be better? Why do we need to know everything? Understanding the why of our behavior and what we benefit from that. Because clearly you benefit in some way.
I think 90% of the answer to that is because I was hurt. And for everybody, because I was hurt, why do you need to know everything? Because I was hurt one time and I didn't know why, and I don't want that happening. And I conflate me knowing everything with I'll never feel pain again.
Right. It makes me feel smart and strong and better than you. And all, that's.
I have this notion that I'm safer now for it.
Right.
It's like, why'd you peacock like that? And it's like, somehow I'm safe.
Right.
What? You just put a target on your back, bro. And you're like, I'm safe as fuck.
It is crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. I remember being young and thinking that it just made me feel better than people to be able to be smarter, to be this, and that it made me feel less insecure. Right.
Yeah.
And then in retrospect, you go, oh God,
Yeah. I feel bad for a lot of the fights I got into. Cause I was just I I was a bad person.
Yeah.
I was just patient. Like, I was like, and in that sense, I was more aware. And I think that made me worse than the people that I'd prey upon. Like, I'd prey upon bullies. I'd wait for a bully to do something. I would convince the bully that I was the right person to do it too. I would act feeble. I would, like, encourage bullies to pick on me, but before I revealed I'm 6'6".
So you can get in a fight. Yeah.
It was terrible. And, you know, I'm always sitting there justifying it like, yeah, well, like, if it wasn't me, you would have done somebody else who couldn't defend themselves. And I was like, no, I was with everybody else. They all looked away. I looked back. I started it essentially.
Oh, I mean,
like, terrible.
yeah, we see that. And I see that in you sometimes where it's like, we talk about driving, right? And it's like, you come, you're like, this thing happened. I'm like, you know what never happens to me? Any of that stuff, because somebody drives bad and I'm like, whatever. And I move on. And you're like, they were wronging me.
I, like, put on the Batman mask and I'm like, I am the knight. Like,
Yes,
I'm like, I will fucking avenge you with my vigilante.
I know.
I know it's not safe on these streets, and it's because of me.
Well, I think
People
that
like me.
it's not, it's more of like when we fall into our victimhood
or validation,
or validation,
which is probably the same thing.
And if we can, and that's ego, which we come back to,
True.
is like thinking about ourselves, right? And we create these stories, and it's like, just think, if you let go of all of that, how nice it is out there.
What would I have to do with my life?
Well, we'll figure that out. I think that's what we're figuring out.
Be all creative and like spontaneity, but like with goodwill and intention.
A family, you know, summers at the beach with your kids playing volleyball, all that fun stuff.
Get over yourself. No, I'm kidding. I want that so desperately, and I know I'm the biggest obstacle or the barrier to entry to that.
Well, we're working on it, and we're going to continue to work on it another day, because now my 10-year-old needs me.
A real family. Back to the dungeon I go.
That's not true.
Remember to put water in the. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
I look forward to next week when you remember to come back and water me and feed me and that I exist.
I always remember that you exist, Kylen. Never can forget you.
I can't wait to show you the projects I've been working on. You will never leave again. You'll say it's not safe. I can't turn my back on him.